And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are at the final trial. It's been a long, painful, arduous journey over here. I still like Rise from the Ashes. Don't get me wrong. I still love Rise from the Ashes. But man, they were not lying. This is one of the longest, brutalest cases. Mostly just in the fact that everything, you really have to make sure you exhaust every little bit of dialogue, find every little item, examine everything. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I underestimated it. I feel like an idiot for having underestimated it. But we're finally here. The final trial, the end of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I got my drinks ready. I have cough drops in case I need them. I think I'm speaking at a pretty good volume. Here, let me just turn my gain down a little bit. Alrighty. Okay. Let me turn it down just a little bit more. I think we're ready. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. This is the defendant. This is the defendant lobby, all right. But there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma for that matter? It almost seems as if Edgeworth. Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 777777 ID number is, that is. Hi, Melly, you're welcome to Lurk. Thank you for joining. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number doesn't belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something. And the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. It depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to figure out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. I'm just going to turn the gain down a little bit. February 25th, 10 a.m. District Courtroom, District Court, Courtroom number 9. Courts are now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant? Morning, folks! How's everyone doing? Hey, Udgy. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowned enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one! Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? I'll be back in a bit. Okay, Normally, take your time. Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana!
Objection!
You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claims does nothing to change the Your Honor, the defendant's claim does nothing to change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana... Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. You know what? Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. The vent is going crazy. I hopefully you can't hear it. I can feel it because this room is ice cold. So give me just 1 minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I turned my camera off. Thank God you didn't see anything, but that'll be edited in post. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't. Oh, my camera didn't pick up the nothing that was over on this side that you can't see, and I get fucking permabanned for accidentally showing nipple. Oh, male nipple. Oh, so scary. So scary. But it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. A request, if legally valid, although it is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, It appears there's no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening!
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you. But why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. Chief Gant? What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have. Let me try that one more time. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony.
Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue.
I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse. Looks like Edgeworth decided to take the horse. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take this horse by the reins.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma Skye. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
Turn the gain down just a little bit more. Make sure that when I'm up to the mic, I'm not blasting eardrums. And let me go up just one. Okay, how about this? There we go. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dock of the Dock Killings. Is this correct?
Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. If an incident that was resolved 2 years ago it's an incident that was I can do this. I can do this because I'm a professional. Actually, let me do one thing. I got something. For this very special occasion. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
I got a light. Now it's not a standard studio. Just 1 second. No way this thing actually just died on me. This thing's been going for years. There we go. There we go. Yay. I don't know what happened there. That's my bad, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Yeah, it's not like a studio. It's just like a regular lamp that I've had, and I just decided, no, maybe this could be an actual help for me with lighting, so I don't look like I'm, you know, in a dark encased room full of nothing. Whew. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's continue. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. Sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesterday has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. 2 years. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know why I got really winded lately. I don't know what's going on. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in command under the department. She was second in command under the deputy chief of police. I had it right. Yes. She was second in command under the deputy chief of police, Gant. My sister. She was the best detective ever.
Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair.
I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dreamt about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest.
When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right?
Yo, what I miss? Well, I changed my shirt because it was getting cold in my room. That's one thing you missed. Lana tried to get us to not be her attorney, but Edgeworth saved us, so that's good. And now I believe we are cross-examining Emma. So wish me luck on this. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna blow my nose.
Sorry about that. Alright, let's keep going. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Doc proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran to the sky in Gant's office.
There's a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him.
What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Doc's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and the prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that would also be why he was the first to run after Doc.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead.
That's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in.
I don't clearly remember what happened then, but
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch black in that room, you should have been able to see anything, right?
Right? But just then, lightning flashed again outside. Then suddenly, that sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago?
Yes. That's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw?
Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning.
Objection!
But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once. It seems to have been lost.
You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed? You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right?
Yes. I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now. Whenever I close my eyes.
That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died. Yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken.
But I drew it. I swear. I'm not just imagining it.
The picture that Emma drew. This picture that Emma drew. That reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprinted an image in your head. Can you please describe it to us?
Man.
That must have been real shock.
Even now when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly.
Tell us. What were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Doc was holding you hostage.
When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside, and the two began wrestling each other.
That don't look like wrestling, dog.
pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Okay, so is there anything that we have? Oh, Jesus! A picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. Got a very bad feeling about this. Never tell me the odds. Oh, no. Well, we're about to bring up some harsh trauma.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth? This little girl put all her heart into that drawing. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here.
Objection!
What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh. These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. As you can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. Where? So you see, Mr. Edgeworth? It's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence list in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order! Order! Give me 1 second. But, Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Guess that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor? Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. Yay, it's the blue badger. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. Yeah, the boy returned. The boy has returned. The prodigal son. The blue badger has returned. I love the blue badger so much. I do not care that people do not like this. Like, this case is very divisive, and for good reason. It's long. There are some
as people pointed out, there are some lore inconsistencies. A lot of retcons, you would say, but it still kind of fits cleanly. Like, you can, like, if you're just playing it regularly, you don't have to play this one. But Emma, to spoil some things, does come back. Meekins comes back, and the Blue Badger is still very much a prominent key feature in the Ace Attorney series from here on out after this case. So, I mean, I like the Blue Badger. He's a cute, fun little mascot, and I love the little tune so much. I guess he was out of scrap paper. And this is restored and updated in the court record. Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at that picture. Emma's picture.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall.
But it doesn't, though. It's just two silhouettes. It doesn't show anyone. It's just two silhouettes. It could have been anyone. It could have been Neil Marshall on top of Joe Dark. It could have been Joe Dark on top of Neil Marshall, or it could have been anyone on top of anybody. We don't know. It's literally just a silhouette and the Blue Badger.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago.
Yes, I gotta press everything again.
Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lorna Sky.
2 or 3 days later. The memory should have still been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor.
You were knocked to the floor.
Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed.
Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. She was hurt, just not hurt badly. What happened after the lightning flashed? You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place?
No, I'm sorry.
Objection!
The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further?
What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture? Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw?
Of course! This is the exact scene!
It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Objection!
Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? Oh, no, of course not! I'd better watch out. We might find some way to cut my salary. Them both saying I'm not the bad guy. Yeah. I mean, because neither of them are. Edgeworth, at this point, had just been proven innocent of not only the murder of Drummond, of defense attorney Drummond, but also of being innocent of killing his dad. So right now, he isn't the bad guy in anything. He's just a guy doing his job and trying to figure himself out. So yeah, he isn't the bad guy. Phoenix is trying to help here.
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives. So I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well... It's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene... She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet... there's clearly a contradiction here. Oh, damn it. Well, here's the problem.
Objection!
The weapon, yes. The knife is broken. But Gumshoe handed us the tip of the blade. Oh, hold on. Before I do this, I want to make sure that I'm not going to screw myself, so... Another.
Objection!
Uh-oh. It was not the weapon. It was not the weapon. It was not the weapon. Okay, maybe the game will let me press on the actual picture.
Objection!
Oh, because the silhouette isn't showing the victim being held from the back. It's shown him being held in the front. Maybe you gotta get it back. Maybe you gotta get back to it later. No. We're here. Yeah. The knife. Yeah. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Okay. Do I press on the person or do I press on the blade? I guess it'd be the blade. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright.
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken in the victim's body.
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
Objection!
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered from a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
Objection!
Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right. But what does this mean?
The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken.
Objection!
That's why I asked her so many times that she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at one time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
But
There's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Objection!
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might not be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
no. Ah! My pride! Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office was holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him, and he was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife.
If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? In the words of Yoda,
No. There is another.
the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Is that right? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Okay, so it's either going to be the... No, but it was broken. Huh? Well. Okay, let me think about this one. Because I either have to use the Gant team picture or the actual King of Prosecutors Award. Because 2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest. 2 years ago, statue? Yeah, so the King of Prosecutors trophy. Yeah, but I don't know if it wants me to use this trophy itself or the Gant team picture. Oh, you know what? I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. No, I'm gonna use the King of Prosecutors trophy and cross my arms, hope, cross my heart, hope to die that this works.
Take that!
If anything's broken here, it's you.
Huh?
I'm sure this must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. But may I remind you that the fate of Miss Lana Skye hangs in the balance.
Sorry, Your Honor. Please give me another chance. Well, I guess I'm dying tonight. Shit. Murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Okay, so the Gantt team picture.
Take that!
The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this photo. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award prosecutor Marshall is holding.
That's a broken knife.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Okay, so the sword can be removed? Why? Why? Why could the shield also be removed? If so, why could they both be removed? That's fucking weird. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
Objection!
But that can't be. Is hubris? Yeah. No, yeah, it's hubris. It has to be. There's no way it's not. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions.
Wait! I remember now. I remember everything.
Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth?
What is it?
Could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? The one with the picture scribbled on the back?
I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it.
Yeah, we had guessed. What? You drew that?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew up.
Was the badger? No, the badger didn't kill anybody. You'll see in a second.
The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time, I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Skye?
Yes, Your Honor.
First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Emma's recollection, witness testimony.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lighting, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room. I'm sure I saw his shadow.
So there's going to be a piece of evidence that hadn't come up yet. That's going to in a minute. That isn't going to make sense at first as to why this is it. But it will in a second. This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana?
What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky, we've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark. Yes. At least I think it was him.
You think?
All I could really see were shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you...
Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall.
He seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know what to do at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help that other person.
What do you mean you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to murder. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was a witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next?
Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought of this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother.
Just when you thought that things had caused enough commotion. Oh, just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion.
Tell us, were you in the room? Did you see him? Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right. I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
Objection!
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken.
Objection!
That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was.
What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Is this Blue Badger really? So here, the Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. It is not a clown. Here's what the Blue Badger really is. And it's going to confuse you until after. But watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Watch this. I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room.
Mr. Wright.
In this room. Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious Blue Badger look-alike.
Take that!
The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger.
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Yeah, I'm just going to save right here because I forget if I take any penalties if I fuck up. Our viewpoint. I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. Rotate. Yeah, you're seeing it now?
Take that!
This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the Badger. That was perfect. That was dead on. This is the one part of this I hate. Allow me to remind the defense in case. Allow me to remind the defense in case. Allow me to remind the defense. Its case hinges on the witness's drawing. Drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape... Man, yes, this is the... You have to get it correct. It can't look almost close. It has to be 100%. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more... Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more? Or horizontally? Come on, Mr. Wright. You can do it. Move it up a little more? Yeah, I'm gonna see. Gotta show with the correct... Okay, so...
Take that!
Here we go. Second try. Let's go, second try. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. It can't be. Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of this crime was actually this.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that Badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us, what difference now that we know this witness saw the jar? It's the location, the murderer, or the murder weapon? I guess it's the location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Well, yes. Well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. On a shelf in the office of Damon Gant.
Objection!
but the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Objection!
Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office.
Objection!
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there was a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent this jar flying? That would have been the impact of the man who was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility. Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea. But nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorized, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall, Yeah. Yeah.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me?
He got pushed? Yes. Emma may have pushed and killed Neil Marshall. May have. We're not certain yet.
No!
And, well... she passed out. And, well, we kind of have a certain piece of evidence. If you were here last stream, we kind of have a certain piece of evidence that, as you can see, is a piece of cloth that has Emma Sky's prints on it. Presumably because she pushed something that had this kind of cloth, and... well... Neil's kind of matches. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What? What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances,
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How could you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin this crime on her?
imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago.
The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes. It certainly would be difficult to prove this evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incidents are dead.
We certainly can't get people to testify. You certainly can't get dead people to testify. Well, if we had a spirit medium, maybe this process would have cleaned itself up by now. But hey, we gotta work with what we got.
This has been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Touche, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. Oh, I forgot about this. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Taking a cough drop, sorry. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility you have left. This is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
Gotta think back to the court record.
The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the dead.
Well, this is the message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed direction.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will It's the cough drop. It's fucking me up. Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim could have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, weren't you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Objection!
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, the fact cannot be denied. What's going on at that prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. It says to be continued, but we're not stopping until this trial is over, goddammit. We are not stopping until I see the end of this trial and until I see the start of Justice for All. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him? Guess I'll need it to give the book. I guess I need to give the book a read through.
Evidence law. Miss Sky explains the 2 rules of evidence law. I like the little Detective Sherlock Holmes bird on the cover.
Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, Detective.
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet.
Yeah, let me just look at some of this. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule 1: no evidence shall be shown without the approval of no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2: unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly. I can do it. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly. Close enough. Caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want me to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal!
You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And now we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 12:52, District Court, courtroom number 9. I'm really trying to focus on enunciating my words more so that each letter doesn't get lost in translation or feels like I'm mumbling. I just want to make sure that I hit every letter, and that I'm being clear in what I'm saying.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well... normally, this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witness?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for your proposing. There's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement. Hold on, I'm gonna test something. I'm gonna really test something here. But a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, the trial is as good as over. Again, I'm going to test something. It's going to allow us to call any witness, right? The defense calls. It's time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. I'm just going to test something real quick.
It appears I've overestimated Mr. Wright. Huh? For a moment, I actually thought you knew what you were doing. Mr. Wright, this court has long since tired of your questionable antics. I still don't have any concrete evidence. Judging by the direction everything seems to be pointing, there's another, even more suspicious person. I just wanted to see what would happen. That was really funny. I like that. Alright. It's only 1 minute. And this sucks, because I actually did really like Gant until he started showing that he was an asshole. Yeah, like a nice, like, grandfatherly feel to him. But, fuck it. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Wolf in sheep's clothing, I guess. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by anyone. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. We're gonna pin this motherfucker to the wall. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? But please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Get rotated. Oh, he's gonna get more than rotated. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered the prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. And notice how he's immediately going into, yeah, she killed him. Notice how immediately when it dropped any sort of mask he had. Yeah, he's a dick. Yeah, normally he's a dick. Which sucks because, like, I don't want to hate this face. I really don't want to hate this face. And every time the guy shows up with his stupid fucking grin, I can't help but smile at him. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. Good character design? Very good character design. Very good character design. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. Bargaining? Hoping, is that a misspell or is that an actual word? When I went to my office, I found Lana there, bargaining. We'll see. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neo flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse... If the police chief has a right... If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, I'd better hit him hard and fast. Don't say that, Phoenix. Please don't say that. Give me just 1 second. All right, just wanted to check something. SL9 incident. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right. But Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs, I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Not funny. Didn't laugh. Fuck you. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying, collapsed on the floor, and apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently, she had already arranged the scene of the crime. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway. Well, you did. You did. You held on to the items. So you had something to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. Removing a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy! Always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I think I have an idea of what did, Let me check the whole list first. Oh,
Objection!
if you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this?
What's that? And what's that on it? And what's that on it? A handprint?
Chief Gant, your explanation, please.
I don't know. You tell me, son.
Huh?
My dear Righto, don't you know? The second rule of evidence law.
Uh-oh. Not this again. Evidence law. Well, let's read the second rule of evidence law. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Well, the relevancy is that this has Emma's handprint on it. And again, the color of this really does match the leather on Neil Marshall's jacket. So,
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial?
It appears the defense was not prepared.
I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence.
Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay. I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Aji. Thank you. I assure you, defense is terribly sorry.
Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. Okay. Could it be?
Objection!
Got him. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your office, in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Oh, we're gonna nail this bastard. We're gonna nail him to the fucking wall. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery.
Who, me?
Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence.
Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right? Righto?
Objection!
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Imagine the pay to go to your job. I'd rather just die right on the spot there. I can't do that.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Haji. In return, though. I know. That place, right?
What are these guys, telepathic?
Yeah, he's just gonna hit the bar, get some brewskis, No, I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, this guy's an asshole, maybe a murderer, maybe, who knows. Definitely a crime scene tamperer. Fuck, I'd still probably. Like, what's in a lifetime? Like, I'd still probably. I'd appreciate if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
He tipped a cow? He went cow tipping? Ha ha ha! Phoenix went cow tipping?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? Later. What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Rhino's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal.
Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy.
What about Von Karma? You literally said you hated him.
What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did take those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
Objection!
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. Do we have the evidence list?
Well, we can actually read the evidence list. Can I? Okay.
All we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Objection!
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however, clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Come on, Righto. Think about it.
How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who is it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see?
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the chief. I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Let me try that one again. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motive for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There. It's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. I think we got him on this one. Okay, his own accomplice. Yeah, it literally. I wish we could switch to the profiles. Literally, if it wasn't for all this happening, Chief Gant A wouldn't have been able to get Lana the position of Chief Prosecutor. Gant wouldn't have gotten, just said me, myself, and I, yeah. But we do know that he was working with Emma at the time, and Emma's positioning as chief of prosecutors, as the chief of prosecutors, allowed him to, you know, kind of run the game a little bit, and would also help in Lana helping cover up Emma's possible murder of Neil Marshall. So let's press on this a little. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selflessness, would he have helped someone out? Why not accomplice? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to betray the chief. As a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? There could be literally no other person, right? Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
You mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Judge, please, for love of fuck.
Oh, wait. You mean puppet, as in someone forced him to do bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? What?
Vader looking at Han's ship, blast at him.
Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our entire law enforcement agency.
Let me try that one again.
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That is impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see.
But just to be safe.
Alright then, let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Huh.
Huh. So on the day of.
Take that!
Well, Chief. So long as Righto here is tossing out things regardless of their relevance. Mind if I toss something too edgy? This shoe should do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you. You always work right the Joker, won't you?
Oops. Looks like I got it wrong.
Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head will knock some sense into you. Okay, so it wasn't that.
But it made sense. It made sense that would be it. Wait.
Take that!
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777-7. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777-7. The same as the remaining ID card on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense search of my office was a violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police. I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. I'm going to shit on the floors of this very courtroom right now because I can go wherever I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
No, I'm shitting.
I always go to the... God damn it. I pee with the lights off. That's how good. Wow. Yeah, left it upside down. Guess what? You get mom. I got you on that one, Normelli. You can't tell me I didn't. I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
No, of course not. Why would he be? I haven't seen him in days.
Objection!
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have had met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for the evidence. Show us proof that Chief Gant, that the victim went to Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Well, let's see. I know we have something. Edgeworth showed up at 4:40, so it couldn't have been him. Is it the lost item report? Because it can only be submitted to the chief of police. And we don't really have anything else that would clearly tie them in. Parking lot stub was for Miles' car, so it couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been the memo either. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Goodman's lost item report. Detective Goodman lost his ID. I was right. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have had to have gone to that. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do you know, I ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to. Yes. To transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might... fuck. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! I love that breakdown. I love that breakdown so much. Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. In the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Demon-looking breakdown? Oh, Normelli, this isn't the only one. There's gonna be at least 2 more. I think the third one, like the last one, is the best. It's the best breakdown ever for a reason. It is really good. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
Objection!
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. We haven't used the screwdriver yet. There's no fucking way. Okay. It can't be the glove. No, because it has to be the transport. I mean, it's the only thing big enough. Oh god, if he take... No, it can't be the shoe, because that's Detective Goodman's shoe. If it's the blue fucking badge... No, it has to be the screwdriver. It's the only thing we literally haven't used in this entire thing. It has to be the screwdriver. Okay, I'm gonna take a shot. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? Thank God. But what does this have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Fortunate. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. But why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What is going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal in the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to go. We have to get going if we... We have to get going if we're... We have to get going if we're to... No, I can do this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special.
Objection!
But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? This is not a right. That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Objection!
So you're going to just run. So you're going to just run away after all of this. Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman? That's what you're going to say, right? I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're going to say, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, you show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? Yes, we do. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Okay. So we have a few things. We have the rubber glove. We have the knife. The blue badge, sir. Sorry, the blue basker. No. What? Was allegedly dancing in the evidence room at the time of the murder at the police department. But that wouldn't be. Why did the blue badger get its shape? I don't know. I don't know. Victim's memo found in the trunk. Oof. Victim's shoe. I mean, it's the only thing. And it wasn't touched. I think if we can go back to the video. Oh, we can't. Sweet. Notice how the handprint is already there? Now, it could be that Gumshoe touched it. Sure. But why is it so sloppy looking? Like there's a little smudge on the top left of the head. Again, there's the handprint on the bottom, but nothing. And plus, there's the break in the face. Like this thing has a literal break where its other bell is on the top left. I guess top right on my side. If I'm standing behind it, it's top right, but on the top left. So it has to be it.
So, what exactly is this evidence?
It's proof as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge.
But I am the judge.
Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor?
What I think, Mr. Wright, is I'm going to be late for lunch.
Damn it. Okay, fuck it. I guess that's just not gonna happen. I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me a little longer to consider.
I'll say it again. Mr. Wright, Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor? Okay, it's just going back to everything. Right, do I have concrete proof? It's no use showing evidence I'm not sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
CRG? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you.
I warned you earlier. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to senior officer in our. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Objection!
Ooh, they got us for a second. Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
Yeah, 7 is the lucky number when it comes to lottery slots, so yeah, it makes sense.
There's one lady who knows the truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness?
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to testify, his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. raised in this trial, someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
May I be willing to tell the truth? But we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth
The defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
she was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body, in accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth,
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, you will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. The court is now in
Hold on.
Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right, then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Bold and brash motherfucker.
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like we've managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe!
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
Oh, fuck. My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
You mean... Maya?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Scant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair.
It's not fair that he has the right to refuse. It's not fair that he has the right to testify. Shit. It's not fair that he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember that the judge said,
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
risks? What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma! Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she's heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. I was gonna take a quick drink real quick. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. She did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow the chief's orders. What do you think I mean? To follow the chief's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may have been able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Please? Please let this be the final act? Fuck. Please? Normally, I know you're probably tired. You don't have to stay. You can go. You can leave. That's perfectly fine. I will see you next stream. You don't have to stay. I thank you that you did, but you don't have to.
Emma, why do you want to wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth.
You want to see the end? Okay. That's perfectly fine. If you do stay, I will be doing at least the opening cutscene to Justice for All. And then maybe bring it up next stream. Then maybe actually continue it next stream. Let's go, right. It's time to end this. If it lasts longer than this, I will take leave, though. Yeah, okay, that's perfectly fine. Here it is. Last to be continued.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the seat. Please take the stand. I'm not giving you my chair. You can't take this seat. This is my seat. I have my memory foam pillow on the seat of this.
Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth? Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Are you two dating? Spill the tea, girl. Are you two dating?
I will not apologize for what I did. I thought it was funny. If you cringed at it, that's on you.
Everything hinges on your testimony.
You're the only one we have to get Gant. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Oh, God. Normelli. Oh, God. Hell no, they aren't dating. It was funny, though. Thank you.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. The fabricated evidence 2 years ago, I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I arranged the crime scene.
It was a really dumb arrangement.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She sacrificed herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin with the cross-examination.
So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it. She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. As a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions.
Mr. Wright, my sister is lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
Gotta get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Lana.
Well, that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
You say you did this all by yourself.
Yes?
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What? Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only a situation you deemed as possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the wound?
And then you moved the body. But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad. But maybe I ought to ask others for the sake.
Why did you move the body? Yeah, okay, to plant the knife, yeah. To do that, makes sense. But why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Pieces of the jar? You mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
Hold on, let's see if we can go back and ask about the... why she planted the knife. But why did you do that?
Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should have been able to figure it out.
Very well. Let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would have been all the proof we needed.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right?
Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did.
Something doesn't feel right. Single stab wound, piercing heart / lung, died from blood loss under 10 minutes. Weapon found in a wound was missing tip. What if she liked the guy? I don't think that's what this is. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna replace this with the. I'm gonna replace the knife one with the body one. shit. Sorry, everybody. Wait a minute. It couldn't have been shattered during the event. It couldn't have been shattered during the events because the blood, it was written on the goddamn jar. He had to have, ooh. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene when Neil Marshall was murdered? Okay, so what I was trying to say was, if Neil wrote Emma's name in blood, the jar couldn't have been shattered during the fight. Because what? Is Neil just going to write Emma's name in blood on shattered pieces? No, he would have to have written it as he was dying on a fully intact jar. Then they would have to have wiped the blood off the jar, smashed the pieces so the pieces wouldn't be rebuilt, and so they wouldn't have found the incriminating message written in blood. You mean the forgery at the scene when Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction with your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plans." That's right. You have a problem with that. It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order. Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. You didn't. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Well, that's an obvious fucking lie, because you didn't. There was still blood on there. You mean you were the one who wiped the message away in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break so I can use the bathroom. I will be right back. Normally, if you are still here, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you do leave, I completely understand. I will be back. Hopefully you are here for the rest of this. Thank you.
And I'm back. Let's keep this gravy train rolling.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar.
So you don't know what it could have said. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar.
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you do that for me?
Seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lana? I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
But you didn't.
But you didn't.
But you really fucking didn't. Here, just be safe. Just be safe. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Just be safe.
Objection!
Oh, it feels so good. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. There's still blood on them. Yes, yes, yes. Which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. And this is where we nail the bastard. Chief Gant got there before you. Sorry, I heard like a noise. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures, and they were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for the dock downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first... The question is if he did arrive there first. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! Even the judge has a breakdown. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Even the judge acknowledges that he had a breakdown.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, it is clear. What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Mama Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Doc, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies?
Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? God fucking damn it.
Miss Sky, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
Yeah, so I was kind of hiding something. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm a little scamp, but yeah. Emma didn't do it.
But I remembered arguing over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Sky, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will. If you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
We got his fucking ass.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof.
She's gonna remember when she says she has a camera.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence then. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Well, the only thing we got from her is this.
Look at those little bird. Little duck. Here's one in the back.
And there it is. It is a violent as fuck picture. Hey, there's a picture here. And there it is.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Honest picture, crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago taken.
Mr. Wright? That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be?
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? This is a handprint.
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those most... Shit. Whoever's fingerprints those must be... Oh, goddammit. Whoever those fingerprints are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips starting all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, you should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
I was hoodwinked. I was bamboozled. I was led astray and I was run amok on. I thought I was going to get more of this, but no. Gant's back.
Oh, you're gonna see why. Hold on, you're gonna see why. Here, let me get a drink real quick. Let me just get a quick drink. Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse of a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
Objection!
I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck. That was the coldest line. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. But wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Here's what we're going to do. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I could present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It has nothing to do with the case or is not checked by the department as valid evidence. It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the scene of the crime that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. Or it's not approved. Did he screw himself over? Yes. Yes, he did, O'Malley. In a very big way. Watch this.
So you really were manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then when she saw the evidence, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. And I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dock convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those 2 items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the rest of I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off of all the pieces.
Objection!
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? And we got him. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept 1 more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have just shown it before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess it up here, victory is mine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Why the cloth cut off? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. The evidence shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Take that!
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes! At least you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could have not been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had it all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on those.
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. She'll be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is...
Take that!
Emma Sky!
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
You freaked the fuck out, that's why. You're really something, righto. Oops, sorry. Let's look at the badge real quick. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky,
You knew who those fingerprints... You knew who those fingerprints were all along, yet you acted like you really didn't.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it's over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is cleared. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall? Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? Contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts the cloth. I see now I'm at an impasse here. It's either the Gantt team picture or it's Lana's picture. Alright, gonna take a swing at this one. Damn it. What exactly is it supposed to be? This is the picture. Oh, wait, it was right. No, we're good. This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yeah, yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth.
The piece of cloth doesn't have any blood on it. The piece of cloth doesn't have any blood on it. Where's the blood on the piece of cloth that doesn't have any blood on it?
Wait, there's no blood on it.
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gantt, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
Someone would have had to have impaled him on there. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword?
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's chest. Ironic, isn't it?
Ironic.
Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
No!
It's finally all over. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. What was one of the rules of evidence law? That's right. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. What did Gantt do earlier in this? I believe he made it explicitly clear as the chief of police that this cloth was very crucial evidence.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect.
Remember, Aji? Earlier, old right over here concealed that piece of cloth.
So then, what's your excuse, Righto?
You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. That's why we had to hold off on actually showing off the evidence, because if we did, the evidence would have just been floated away. He wouldn't have actually had to verify it. If he didn't verify it, then we immediately lose. That's why I had to conceal it for now and then show it later.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. Refused to present evidence. At that moment, this piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
That's not fair.
Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth.
True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you personally and illegally concealed this piece of evidence?
No. I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
Ha! So the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Edgy. Don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
Objection!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Take that!
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Well, it also mostly pertains to the first rule. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. He also pointed out the picture. Remember, Gant personally pointed out this picture and said that cutout piece is this cloth. He fucked himself royally.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You wanted relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection!
Sorry, but you can recall, when was that picture presented?
It was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally proved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. The evidence is transferred. I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room, and all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and he was taking the evidence out. He said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't even know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone had to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try and go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji. What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, David Cat. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Archie. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here, and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. See, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My. What high standards you have for a rookie.
Wait, so why did he kill him? Goodman was going to look into the SL9 case, realize, oh hey, Gant might have murdered Jake Marshall's brother, so Gant had to take out Goodman. For the reason why he killed Neil, well, it's a little up in the air. I want to say he killed Neil as a way to blame Emma because she was there, as a way to get Lana into the chief prosecutor's seat so that he can control her. That's my guess. I don't know.
I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky?
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few years. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing. Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. The trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all this? Or are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free from these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone far too long already. Regarding the charges of murder, the court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky,
Not guilty.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. What? At least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. We literally just saw this.
You suffered every bit as much as I've as much as I have over these past few years. You've done well. Over these past few days, I meant. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making the detective run around while on duty. And on top of it, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
It's the same fucking joke.
Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana? Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you will.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Kent to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much it was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. Sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. Sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. Now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma.
Aww.
Aww. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful place. And it is from there that we can move on forward to a brighter future. Yep. Parallel to Mia and Maya? Yep. At least that's what it felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright? Mr. Gumshoe?
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding?
I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth? I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring him down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon.
Judging criminals when they did stuff too.
Yeah,
It's kind of what hypocrites and narcissists do.
it's scary. But I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth,
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue to be a prosecutor. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
that's why narcissists do that. That's why Gant said that to Edgeworth, because he's trying to get under his skin and in his brain.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant, your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on your own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh?
Yeah.
What is this, a pop quiz?
I think I know what it is, but just to be safe.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to find the evidence list.
Take that!
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, I had the other. Apparently, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth?
If you'll excuse me, there's still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit you soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's got a little duck on the cover. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. As for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective?
There's
just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be at a jail like this.
I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, it might be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Now, believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh? Way to go, Detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill.
Huh? Huh?
What, do you think I could afford it on my salary? Yeah, be kidding me, pal.
Huh? Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you pay it off together? Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Objection!
And we have reached the end of Rise from the Ashes.
I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe. I hope she'll be pleased to study it under a coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as a prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma.
I want to give a big round of applause to everyone that helped work on this final chapter. From Takumi-san. Yikes, I thought it was a goner at that moment. You overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, they can't shake me off that easily. Again, I would just like to give a moment just to thank everyone that was involved in the making of this chapter of this game. From everyone down to Shutakami, to the artists, to the developers, to the programmers, to everyone involved. This game is really important to me. The series is really important to me, and the fact we went so long.
My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe.
For the graphical department, from the original pixel artists to the remaster artists to the remaster artists, everyone involved. And Blue Badger. Yay! My favorite cameo. Oh, the Blue Badger died. Well, that sucks. And everyone involved, again, programmers, sound designers. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this to me. See, one of the guards with her. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You gave Bambina back her smile. You made sure Billy and the gang get their water. Like, this series means a lot to me, and it saddens me that we don't get a new addition to the series every day.
Looks like we must be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal in the menu, the Right Way Lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
Like, I think the last game came out 2017. And again, it's just, I do really wish there was more to the series. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see what his name was again. A
Mr. Left. Anyway, he said he's been doing something for many years. Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so better be... oh, no, I forgot my gavel. I'm sorry, gotta go.
And the judge left his chair. Hey, Maya!
Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm fully fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
I see why so many people enjoy this game. It's a good game. It's a great series. There isn't a serious low point in the series. Not a serious one. There's ones that people say are down there, but to me, the series will always be just great. But the people I want to thank more than anyone, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on? What's going on? Well, the people I want to thank the most are everyone that shows up to these streams. If it wasn't for you showing up, I would not be here.
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad. It'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Oh my god, it's a little photo of them. Look at little Emma. Oh my god. She's wearing her sister's hat. This has been fun, Normelli, and again, I thank you so much for joining me. I thank anyone that showed up to the stream to watch, or watch from the VODs, or watch on YouTube when I upload these there. I just want to thank everyone involved. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys watching. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the games that I played that I want to show everyone. And I just can't thank you all enough. You guys mean the world to me. You guys are very important to me. And I've always said I don't care about getting famous. I don't care about being famous. That's not why I do this. I do this genuinely for the love of the stuff that I play and for the love of each and every single one of you that show up to watch. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But now that Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is done, we can move on to the next game. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. When we do that next time, I hope to see every single one of you there. And until then, this has been Raven 5. I'll see you next time.